Global Red Cross body appeals to India, China to follow Geneva Conventions. New Delhi, the International Committee of Red Cross, ICRC, has appealed to India and China to adhere to the Geneva Conventions, of which both are signatories, the Indian Express has reported. These conventions are a set of protocols internationally ratified, and categorically states that civilians, aid workers, and other non-combatants should be protected from the effects of war by both warring parties. This comes in the wake of the violent clash between Indian and Chinese soldiers in Galwan Valley, Ladakh, in June, which claimed the lives of 20 Indian soldiers. It has been learnt that days after the incident, the ICRC approached the permanent missions of India and China and handed over note verbal, a diplomatic form of communication, drawing the attention of the warring parties to the rules under the Geneva Conventions in instances of armed conflict. Although the ICRC, headquartered in Geneva, has confirmed its outreach to Indian and Chinese governments, it has refrained from mentioning any specifics regarding the same, pointing out that the matter is confidential. As part of its mandate, the ICRC regularly engages in a dialogue with the authorities on humanitarian issues as well as on rules applicable to various situations, based on the ICRC's internal analysis. This dialogue with the concerned authorities is conducted in a confidential manner, and the ICRC does not normally publish either its findings or the content of these confidential discussions and recommendations that it presents. Based on these principles, we are also engaging with the governments of India and China, an ICRC spokesperson has been quoted as having said by Express. Underscoring the importance of not keeping the discussions in the public domain, the official has added, the confidentiality principle, on which our work is based, is important for the ICRC to uphold its mandate, and we would like to ask all concerned, including the media, to please understand and respect that India and China have signed the 1949 Geneva Conventions, a set of 4 international treaties, along with the members of the international community. These treaties ensure that during a conflict, warring parties conduct themselves in a humane way with civilians, non-combatants, aid workers, and combatants, who no longer engaged in fighting, such as prisoners of war, and sick and wounded soldiers. Over the years, 3 additional protocols have been added to the conventions. While India has been a signatory to one of the 3 protocols, China has acceded to 2. The ICRC is mandated by international law to monitor signatories to ensure that they comply with the said rules during armed conflicts. The Galwan incident is a major turning point in India-China relations, ratcheting up tensions at an unprecedented level in recent years. It was the first time since 1975 that Indian soldiers were killed in a military clash with the Chinese. The incident had sparked global concern, with several nations appealing to both sides to show restraint. After the incident at the line of actual control in Galwan in Ladakh in June, in which 20 Indian soldiers were killed in a clash with Chinese soldiers, the International Committee for the Red Cross, ICRC, approached both the Indian and Chinese governments and asked that they observe the Geneva Conventions to which both countries are signatories, the Indian Express has learnt. The violent encounter at Galwan that killed 20 Indian soldiers, including their commanding officer, Colonel Santosh Babu, took place on the intervening night of June 15 and 16. The casualties on the Chinese side have not been officially declared. 10 Indian soldiers captured by the Chinese during the brawl were returned on June 18. Days after this, said sources, the ICRC approached the permanent mission of India in Geneva and handed over a note verbal, a form of diplomatic communication, bringing attention to the rules under the Geneva Conventions in situations of armed conflict. The Indian Express has learnt that the ICRC made an identical outreach to the permanent mission of China.